Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Tai Chi in the Park. We are here again at Evelyn's Park for our 30-minute Qi Gong class. Today we're going to be working on Primordial Qi Gong. As the weather starts to change, this is a good exercise to help boost our immune system, help boost the production of bone marrow in the body, and to protect us from the changes in the weather that we experience at this time. So as you can see today, it's a little overcast and cloudy, a little dreary. So we're going to bring the sunshine in using our mind and our intention. So find your space where you can sit or stand for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And let's start with 3 deep breaths. Inhale your arms up. And slow, long exhale. Find yourself sinking into your stance, sinking into your body. Imagining that you're taking your mind and dropping it down into your belly. Inhale. Feel it lifting up through the spine. And exhale. From your head, work down your body, gently scanning, releasing any tension, letting it flow down like water moving down the mountain. Slightly bending the knees, sinking into the hips, spreading across the feet. And this time we're going to bring our hands together. Since it's a little cooler than what we've been used to, let's warm up by warming those hands. So creating some friction, and then open up the fingers and rub in between the fingers, warming up all the areas of the fingers, rubbing the webbing of your fingers, stimulating that point, those points in between the fingers, and then interlace your fingers and rub your palms side to side like a gentle massage. Rubbing all parts of the palm. And then bring your fingertips together and tap your fingertips together, helping to get blood and qi flowing all the way to the extremities. Bring your awareness to your fingertips. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply. All right, now we're going to start tapping. Cupping the hand. Briskly tapping up the arm. All the way up to the shoulder, front of the shoulder. And coming down. One more time, coming up, inhale. Exhale as you tap down the inside of your arm. Other side. Noticing if there's any areas that are tender. There might be a little bit more stagnation or soreness or tenderness or weakness in that area. And you can focus on those areas. Top of the shoulder, then down the inside. All right, rub your hands together again. Get them nice and warm. And rub the kidneys, lower back, lower rib cage, Take a few deep breaths in. Feel how nice that feels on the lower back. Our back gives us so much support. All right, and then we're going to start tapping. Going down the outside of the legs, as far down as you can comfortably. And tapping up the inside of the knees. Tapping the belly round to the hips, to the back, down the back of the legs, back of the knees. Up the inside. Tap the belly. All right, and so now we're going to warm up the kidneys, and so we're going to cross, slapping. Chinese is called Pai Da. And so we're tapping the upper trapezius and then the lats in the back, side of the rib cage, and the space between the neck and shoulders. Crossing, breathing. So doing a little bit of extra warm up here. And 2 more. Good, and relax. Now we're going to shake our hips and get our arms turning, just tapping around the waist. Letting the back of the hand slap as it comes around the back, in front of the palm. And then from here, we're going to start to take the hand up a little bit higher. And your hand's going to be like this as it taps inside of the shoulder, that shoulder socket. Back of the hand comes up a little bit higher on the lower back. All right, and slowly unwind. And let's take a few deep breaths. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, slowly sink down. Notice how you feel after the tapping. Maybe you feel more alert, more enlivened. Maybe you feel greater ease in your breath. Maybe you feel more relaxed, the tension in your muscles released. And one more. All right, so we're going to start with what's called a Hunyuan Qi Gong practice. It's also called Primordial Qi Gong. And we start to cultivate the qi and move it into our bones to help stimulate the production of bone marrow. But first we want to cleanse our qi, cleanse our body, cleanse the internal organs. So let's start in our Qigong stance, arms bowed out, armpits are open, elbows rounded, a nice curve of the arm. So feeling resilient, feeling buoyant, but also feeling relaxed, as though water were dripping off of your fingers. Knees slightly bent, always a slight bend in the knee. Nice long spine, sinking hips. So we're going to start with 3 circles clockwise. Our hands just come into a circle. And then we reverse. 3 circles counterclockwise. Coming back to center. Inhale your arms up. Opening the eyes wide. Reaching out through the fingers. Spreading the fingers apart. We're slowly coming up. Allowing ourselves to open up to the chi around us. Chi in the earth, chi in the air. And then the palms face the crown of the head. Nice rounded elbows, relaxed shoulders, center of the palm facing the crown of the head. And we're inviting that primordial chi, the chi from heaven, celestial chi, in through the crown of the head. Take a nice deep breath in. Letting the chi from all around us sink, melt in, blending with the chi of our body. Moving into all areas of the body, removing anything that is dark, cloudy, stagnant, anything that needs to be washed clear. And then bring your hands out in front. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale, we're going to release all of that turbid chi down into the ground, bending the knees, exhaling. Let it go. Release it down. Come back up to your Qigong stance. Standing upright. Let's do that again. Inhale, expanding out. Feeling open, expanding down into the earth, up into the sky, into the cardinal directions. Inviting healing chi in. Exhale, hold it here. Take another deep breath in. Breathing into the fullness of our body. Exhale. Imagining white light permeating through the body. Hands out in front of the navel. Exhale. Release it all out through the hands, through the feet, down into the ground. Directing and guiding the chi with our movements, with our breath, and with our mind, our intention. One more time. Inhale. Open up. Opening up to the change of the seasons. Exhale. Opening up to the trees, the grass, the breeze. Another deep breath. And exhale. Releasing all the way down each time. Washing down through the body, all the way down through the bones, like you're washing the bones clean. Inhale. And exhale, release. And inhale, come up. And 3 deep breaths. So closing out this section, we're going to do 4 sections, 4 of the 12 sections of this Qigong form. So now that we're feeling clear inside and out, come back to your Qigong stance. We're going to fill the 3 dantians with Qi, starting with the upper dantian. You're going to lean forward slightly, hinging from the hips, nice long spine, soft knees. Inhale. Gathering qi from all around you, letting it enter in through the eyes, nose, ears, mouth, skin, from the front of the head all the way to the back, washing over the brain. And then exhale, bringing any excess qi down to the lower dantian. And for ladies, you're going to have your right hand over left. Gentlemen, you'll do the opposite. Let's do that again for the upper dantian. Inhale, arms out, gathering up qi, using our imagination. Using our imagination to help us heal. Imagining a white ball inside the head, filling with qi. And exhale, releasing down. And one more. Turning your gaze inwards. Letting the inside of your body light up. And now we're going to gather right into the lower dantian. Inhale. And exhale, bring your hands in. Bring one hand over the other. Imagining this sphere of energy inside the lower dantian. Imagining yourself permeable, accepting the qi, letting it fill this area, helping you to feel invigorated. All right, now we're going to take a small step out, heel toe out, widen your stance, toes turned out. We're going to pull qi from the earth up underneath the pelvis and up to the kidneys. Hands come behind the back, palms up, thumbs up, fingertips at the Mingmen, between lumbar 3 and 4. Pulling that qi, relaxing the kidneys, imagining they're resting forward in the body, taking pressure, helping them to relax. Bring the hands out in front. Inhale, scoop up. Pulling up on the pelvic floor. Hands to the kidneys, palms up and back. Release forward. One more time. Kidneys relaxed and quiet. Hands out in front, pointing towards the navel. Feel the navel resting back towards the spine. Feel a release in the lower back. And bring your hands to your lower dantian. Take a deep breath in. Feel the lower back expand. And we'll close out this section. So now that we've gathered qi into the 3 dantians, we're going to take that qi and move it into the bones with our intention. We're going to go through the whole body. Coming into our Qigong stance. Good. Release the tailbone down. Let the base of the pelvis be parallel with the earth, parallel with the feet. Shoulders over hips and neck is long. Crown reaching up. And let's begin. Bring the arms up in front. Bend the elbows. Hands out in front of the forehead. And we're going to inhale, expand the chi, or the sphere inside the head. Expanding it out. The skin is permeable, gathering in more chi. And then exhale, let it press in to the bones. Our bones are porous, imagining it moving into the pores, into the bone marrow. Bringing energy, inhale, expand out. Gather more chi, and then exhale, concentrate it into the bones of the skull, the hands, the forearms, the upper arms, the shoulders. One more. Expand. And exhale. And release. Bring your arms down in front of your pelvis. We're going to expand the ball here. Inhale. As you exhale, send the chi into the pelvis, the spine, and the ribs. Imagining your bones are glowing bright with chi. Feeling open and light, expansive, and then exhale. Feeling a gentle pressure of chi movement. That gentle pressure of the intent. Inhale, open. And exhale. And we're going to step out a little bit wider again, straightening the arms without locking them. This is for the pelvis and the bones of the legs and feet. We're going to inhale, expand. As you exhale, send the chi into the base of the pelvis, the sacrum, the tailbone, the femur, patella, bones of the lower leg and feet, and inhale, expand. And exhale. Now the chi is heavy and sinking. Inhale, light, open, expansive. Exhale, heavy and sinking. And one more. And exhale. And come back up to standing. Bring your hands in towards your lower dantian. You can bring your feet in. And let's take 3 deep breaths. All right, and now we're going to circulate the chi. So we're going to stand in a bear stance, 1 foot forward, the other foot back at about a 45-degree angle. And we're going to bend the knees slightly, and we're going to be shifting the weight forward and back, making sure that the knee stays over the ankle, not moving too far, but pressing down into the ground, not forward. And being able to glide and stay low here. We're going to start with the hands out in front. We're going to be circulating the energy through these central channels of the body. You're going to keep the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, behind the teeth, and allow this energy to flow. If you don't feel it, don't worry about it. It's always happening, whether we are aware of it or not. And we're going to inhale, imagining that we're inhaling from the tailbone all the way up the spine to the top of the head, and then exhale down the midline of the body. So let's do that 2 more times. And now we're going to reverse the flow, taking the hands back to reverse. Inhale, now up the front line of the body. Exhale down the back. Last one. Very good. And now we're going to switch again, taking it back. So now that we've gathered and cultivated chi in the body, we want to make sure that we use that chi in a way that will sustain our health, improve our health. Because if chi is stagnant, it's not useful. All right, and we're going to switch to the other side. So you can turn one foot in, turn the other foot out. Still in our nice wide bow stance, feeling comfortable. Starting with the hands out in front, we're going to repeat on this side. Shifting the weight back, inhale, up the back. Exhale, down the front. Just letting it flow down. Inhaling it up. Taking it back and reversing. Coming back to the original circulation, bringing it back up the spine. Imagining chi is like water. And wherever it flows, it cleans and clears and nourishes. One more. And coming back to center. Bring your feet forward. We'll close out the practice. Inhale, arms up. And exhale. Feeling the paradox of both feeling light and sinking simultaneously. All right, and relax. We're going to lift and stomp. Lift the knees, gently stomp on the ground. Bring your heels up and back, opening up the legs. Now we've been standing, open and close the hands. All right, and we're going to settle in to a short meditation, a breathing technique called Dantian breathing. So just place your hands over your lower abdomen, just below the navel. And if you're good with closing your eyes, go ahead, or just keep them partially open and moving your gaze inward and down into the pelvis. And begin to belly expand out and feel the lower back expand. And you may notice that this brings more qi and blood to flow into the legs, helping with circulation down into the feet, releasing tension in the lower back, and tonifying the internal organs in this area. Letting the breath become slow, long, smooth, natural breathing. Focusing on the lower back expanding, the belly naturally expands. And remembering to come back to this breath whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel like you need to take a break. You can just bring your hands here, close your eyes, and breathe. And you'll find that inner stillness and that inner peace. And then moving forward through the rest of your day, feeling more energized. So we'll close the class by bringing our feet together. Inhale your arms up. Thank you so much for joining me in this life-nourishing practice. Interlace your hands at the thumbs, making the symbol of yin and yang, the symbol of Tai Chi, the great polarity, the coming together of yin and yang to create life. And until we meet again next week, Dao An, wishing you peace on your path. And for those of you back home, if you join us on our Four Dragons Tai Chi Facebook page, we have new videos coming out every week where you can continue with your Tai Chi conditioning and other practices. You can also follow us on our Four Dragons Tai Chi YouTube channel for more videos. Until then, everyone stay safe, take care, see you again next week. Thank you.